Black Friday 2025 is here, and the TV deals are absolutely everywhere. Aisles flooded, homepages cluttered, emails promising unbeatable savings. But before you get hypnotized by that $17,975 doorbuster, let's break down what's really happening. Because the truth is, most of those big bold deals, they're traps. Year after year, it's the same game. Massive discounts slapped on televisions that look big, sound flashy, and come from brands you sort of recognize until you plug them in, start watching, and realize you've just dropped a few $100s on what might as well be a glowing cardboard box. The contrast is garbage. The colors are off.
If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Your feedback helps shape what we cover next, and you being here keeps the conversation going. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
The interface lags like it's running on a potato. And 3 months in, something starts flickering. That's not an accident. That's the business model. Let's be very clear, not all TVS are built to last. Some of them are built to fail. And Black Friday is when they're pushed hardest. You'll see names like Insignia, RCA, Vizio, Toshiba. TVS that look like deals, sound like deals, but use outdated panels, recycled components, and processors so slow, you'll spend more time waiting for your app to open than watching your show. These aren't new models, they're old stock. Rebranded leftovers, assembled for the lowest possible cost, wrapped in shiny marketing to get them off shelves fast. And the worst part, many of these models are labeled with things like Full HD or Smart TV, which sound impressive until you realize what's actually under the hood is from 5 tech cycles ago. A lot of these 108p models, still being sold in 2025, are relics. Their processing power can't handle modern content properly. Their contrast ratios are low, color performance is inconsistent, and forget about meaningful HDR support. Upscaling, terrible. Motion handling, choppy. It's all smoke and mirrors, meant to look great under store lights for 5 minutes and fall apart after the return window closes. If all you want is a basic TV for a spare room, maybe you can live with that. But if you actually care about image quality, interface usability, and the TV lasting more than a couple of years, these are not the models you want. Here's where things get smarter. On the budget side, Roku TVS still hold value, not because they're packed with cutting-edge display tech, but because they prioritize the experience. Simple, user-friendly interface, fast app navigation, decent quality for casual watching. For secondary rooms, older family members, or people who just want easy streaming without bells and whistles, Roku TVS hold their own. But if you're after that next level, something that feels cinematic, something built for sports, gaming, or just quality binge watching, you're going to want to look at the mid-range tier. This is where things start to get exciting. TCL and Hisense are bringing mini LED technology into that affordable sweet spot. And this matters, because mini LED is a massive step up from traditional edge-lit LED panels. You get better local dimming, meaning darker blacks and brighter highlights. You get a more immersive, contrast-rich picture. This isn't just marginally better, it's noticeably better. Especially if you're watching HDR content or playing games. TCL's 6 series and Hisense's U8 series, for example, often go on sale during Black Friday, and they outperform anything in the low-end category by a mile. These TVS offer excellent peak brightness, accurate color reproduction, and strong HDR performance. You're getting real value here: modern technology, solid panel quality, and overall reliability without spending old money. But if you are ready to splurge, if you want that top-shelf experience, this is where old dominates. LG, Sony, and Samsung are still leading the old game in 2025. Whether it's LG's old C series, Sony's Master series, or Samsung's QD old offerings, you're entering the world of pixel-level illumination. What that means is, no backlight. Every pixel emits its own light. The result? Infinite contrast, true blacks.
If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Your feedback helps shape what we cover next, and you being here keeps the conversation going. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
Color precision that absolutely crushed anything LED-based. It's the difference between watching something and feeling it. And if you're a gamer, the benefits multiply. OLED discs come with high refresh rates, low input lag, and superb motion handling. Fast-paced content, whether it's Call of Duty or Formula 1, looks smooth, sharp, and stunning. Yes, they're more expensive, but the value is in the experience. These are panels built for performance, for longevity, and for visual excellence. They're not just TVS, they're home theater displays, gaming monitors, and living room centerpieces. And here's the thing, investing in a high-quality TV isn't just about the picture. It's about the build quality, the operating system, the long-term performance. Cheap brands often cut corners on everything from remote response times to port configurations to firmware support. You end up fighting with your own hardware just to watch something. Meanwhile, the higher-end brands, they're designed for consistency. You get firmware updates. You get responsive interfaces. You get better customer support. And, in many cases, better warranties. You're buying peace of mind and picture quality. That's the core of what this video is saying. You can't judge a TV by price tag alone. Marketing isn't value. Specs matter. And superficial features like screen size or brand buzzwords can be incredibly misleading if you don't understand what you're looking at. You have to know the difference between native contrast ratio and dynamic contrast, between 60 Hz panels and true 120 Hz refresh rates, between fake HDR and actual HDR 1.0 or Dolby Vision support, between a TV that shows bright colors and one that handles color accuracy. Because when you know what you're looking for, you start to see the tricks. You notice that some 4K TVS are technically 4K in resolution, but can't display content at full 4K quality because of weak processors. Or that some HDR TVS barely reach the brightness levels needed to actually show HDR content the way it's meant to be seen. You see that brands who slap Smart TV on the box might be running bloated, sluggish interfaces that haven't been updated in 2 years. Meanwhile, premium models offer lightning-fast menus, customizable picture modes, and next-gen HDMI support. All of this matters, because buying a TV isn't like buying a toaster. It's not just a box that does one thing. It's a central piece of how you experience your movies, your shows, your sports, your games. It's where family nights happen, where long weekends disappear into epic binge sessions. It's where stories come to life. So when you settle for cheap, when you get pulled in by price and ignore performance, you're not saving money, you're paying for frustration. And often, you're paying to replace the TV in a year or two anyway. That's why the message here is simple. Buy smart, not impulsive. Whether you're working with a tight budget or aiming for premium performance, there are solid options out there. But you need to know what to avoid. You need to know which features actually matter. And most importantly, you need to look past the hype. Avoid the rebranded, low-tier panels. Skip the too good to be true prices. Be wary of 1080p TVS being sold as big savings. And don't fall for flashy displays that perform great under showroom lighting but fall apart in real-world use. Focus on real technology. Old, mini LED, trusted performance from brands that have proven their reliability year after year. Because the right TV isn't just a purchase, it's an investment in your everyday experience. If this helped you cut through the noise and actually figure out which TVS are worth your time, give this video a like. Got a question about a model or need help deciding between options? Drop it in the comments, we read every one. And if you want to stay ahead of the tech traps, make smarter buys, and keep your setup future-proofed, hit that subscribe button. There's more coming. You're not just shopping, you're navigating a minefield. Black Friday is loud. It's aggressive. It's designed to overwhelm you with urgency. Limited stock, flash deals, ticking clocks. And while you're trying to make a smart decision, somewhere between all 7 and your third open tab online, you start second-guessing yourself. Maybe that $30,065-inch TV is good enough. Do I really need old? They all look the same, don't they? This is exactly what the manufacturers count on. They don't expect you to make a fully informed, confident decision. They expect confusion, because confusion leads to compromise. Compromise leads to sales. And what you take home. That's their exit strategy. The cheaper the build, the faster it fails. And when it does, you're back in the market. That's the cycle. Brands like Insignia, RCA, and lesser-known variations of Vizio or Toshiba are repeat offenders. They know the game. Pump out ultra-low-cost sets with shiny packaging and throw them into Black Friday sales. They pulled the numbers from the margins, not the tech. These aren't engineered for performance, they're engineered to sell once. After that, you're on your own. These are the TVS where you'll notice weird glow issues in the corners, where motion looks smeary, where the speakers sound like a tin can, where the remote feels like it's from 2009, where it says Smart TV but takes 45 seconds just to launch YouTube. The real insult. These TVS don't even pretend to be future-proof. No HDMI 2.1, no meaningful HDR support, no Dolby Vision, no real local dimming, And you'll see 4K Ultra HD everywhere, but the panel won't have the contrast or color range to show you what 4K actually looks like. It's all packaging, all performance anxiety, and no satisfaction. Now let's pivot, because not all Black Friday TV deals are traps. Some are legit. You just need to know where to look and why. If you're on a tight budget, Roku TVS remain the safest play. They don't promise the moon, but they deliver what they say. You get a clean, simple interface, fast setup, and a reliable experience for casual use. They're great for bedrooms, guest rooms, or non-tech-savvy users. They're not going to win a side-by-side image test with an old, but they're not trying to. They're functional, honest, and inoffensive. And sometimes, that's exactly what you want. But if you're trying to squeeze the most image quality out of your dollar, you need to shift into the mid-range zone. This is where TCL and Hisense absolutely kill it, especially in 2025. Why? One word: Mini LED. This isn't a marketing term. Mini LED is real progress in display technology. Smaller LEDs mean more control over lighting zones. That means better contrast, deeper blacks, and far more detailed brightness. You're not just watching TV, you're seeing dimension, depth, and nuance you don't get with traditional LED panels. TCL's 6 series and Hisense's U7 and U8 models consistently outperform expectations. You're getting quantum dot color. You're getting smooth motion handling, especially at 120 Hz refresh rates. You're getting gaming features like VR variable refresh rate, ALLM auto low latency mode, and even Dolby Vision for streaming. In short, you're getting 80% of the old experience for 50% of the price. That's value, but let's not pretend. Old is still the king. If your budget allows, and you want the best possible display experience, you need to go old. This is where LG, Sony, and Samsung play a different game. OLED discs offer per pixel illumination. That means every single pixel can turn on or off individually. You want true blacks. Old is the only way. You want insane contrast and accurate colors across the board. Old. You want to watch Dune the way it was meant to be seen. Old. Gaming? Let's talk responsiveness. OLED discs typically come with ultra-low input lag, 120 Hz native refresh, and excellent HDR handling. If you're using a PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, or even a high-end PC rig, OLED is your best visual partner. And no, the price isn't as wild as it used to be. Black Friday deals on OLEDs are more aggressive every year. LG's C-Series models, Sony's A-Series, and now Samsung's QD OLED hybrids all get meaningful discounts. If you're waiting for a sign to upgrade to old, this is the window. But again, it's not just about image quality. It's about total experience. High-end brands give you better software, better remotes, more consistent firmware updates, and interfaces that feel like they were built in this decade. You won't be stuck with some clunky off-brand smart hub that freezes or randomly logs you out. You won't be trying to find third-party workarounds just to watch 4,000 content. And longevity. That's huge. A quality OLED from a reputable brand is going to last. These aren't disposable. These are investments into your living room, your gaming setup, your film nights. And that brings us back to the point. Black Friday isn't about finding the cheapest TV. It's about finding the smartest TV for your money. The TV that fits your space, your viewing habits, and your expectations without selling you short 6 months down the road. Native refresh rate 60 Hz versus 120 Hz. Peak brightness and HDR support. HDMI inputs to 0.1 if you're gaming. Processor and interface performance. And don't get swayed by store lighting. It's all set to vivid mode anyway. What you need is reliability. Performance that holds up in your home, in your lighting, with your content. At the end of the day, Black Friday is still one of the best times to buy a TV if you know what to avoid. They take an old model, sometimes years old, strip it down to just enough features to make it marketable, slap it with a massive discount sticker, and ship it out in bulk to big box stores. Suddenly, you're standing in a store, staring at a 70-inch TV for under $400, thinking you've won the lottery. What you don't realize is that panel was originally budget tier in 2021. It's got a weak processor. There's no local dimming. HDR support is basically fake. And the panel's brightness is so limited that anything you watch looks washed out unless you're in a pitch black room. This is what happens when you focus on price and screen size without considering performance. What you end up with is a TV that looks great for sports and news, until you try to watch a movie. Then, the flaws show up fast. Murky blacks, overexposed highlights, slow UI, laggy app response, and image retention issues. If you're coming from a solid older TV and upgrade to one of these dirt cheap units, you'll notice immediately, you didn't level up. You downgraded in disguise. And here's the irony. Most of these cheap deals don't even last long enough to be cost-effective. The build quality is fragile, customer support is non-existent, and firmware updates, forget it. If something breaks, you're stuck because your deal came with zero safety net. Meanwhile, on the other side of the shelf, you've got mid-range TVs that offer real value. These are the models built with quality panels, decent processors, and actual performance standards. Many LED models from Hisense and TCL aren't just budget old alternatives, they're serious contenders in their own right. The Hisense U8 series, for example, regularly goes head-to-head with premium models at half the price. It's got brightness that can punch through daylight, full-array local dimming that makes dark scenes look cinematic, and Dolby Vision that actually means something because the hardware can back it up. TCL S6 series. Same story. Solid HDR. 120Hz native refresh rate. Great for gaming. Strong upscaling. And they're constantly updating their firmware to keep things optimized. These aren't cut-rate panels, they're the sweet spot for people who want a great TV without going full premium. But let's be honest, old still sits at the top of the mountain. And when it comes to Black Friday, it's the only time of year where those premium OLEDs drop into a price range that makes sense for regular people. This year, LG's C series, Samsung's S9OC, and Sony's A80 series are all coming in with meaningful discounts. And these aren't stripped-down versions, these are the real models with full feature sets. HDMI 2.1, VRR, Dolby Vision, 120Hz, pixel-level dimming, the whole package. You're getting a screen that doesn't just show you content, it transforms it. Whether you're streaming dark prestige TV shows or playing fast-paced games, OLED gives you that wow factor every time. And no, it's not overhyped. The second you see true black next to edge-lit gray pretending to be black, you feel the difference. The contrast, the realism, the depth, nothing else compares. And old isn't fragile the way people used to think. Burn-in risk is way lower now thanks to advanced panel protection and pixel shifting tech. If you're a normal viewer, meaning you're not leaving ESPN on for 10 hours a day at max brightness, you'll be fine. Now, let's talk gaming, because this is where the difference between a cheap Black Friday deal and a smart Black Friday deal gets even clearer. Low-end TVs will advertise gaming mode or even 120 motion rate, but that doesn't mean they're giving you true 120Hz support or low input lag. It's marketing fluff. If you're serious about gaming, whether it's competitive multiplayer or cinematic open-world titles, you need a TV that supports HDMI 2.1, VRR, and 4K at 120Hz. That's not optional anymore. It's baseline. And again, this is where old and mid-range mini LED TVs shine. You get smooth motion, zero ghosting, crisp clarity, and input responsiveness. Know your needs. Check the specs. Compare the models. And trust quality over hype. If this helped you feel more confident about which TVs to skip and which ones are worth your money, hit the like button. Got a specific model you're thinking about? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more brutally honest buying guides without the fluff, hit subscribe. We're here to keep your tech future-proof and frustration-free. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, you're officially part of the small percentage of people who don't just click away, and that means a lot. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me your thoughts, your ideas, or even what you'd like to see next. I read every single one of them, and your feedback genuinely shapes the direction of this channel. If you enjoyed the video, tap that like button, it tells YouTube this content is worth sharing. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next upload. We've got more exciting videos coming, and trust me, you'll want to be here for them. This channel is just getting started, and your support helps it grow faster than you realize. Thank you again for spending a part of your day here with me. Stay curious, stay motivated, and as always, take care of yourself. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.